Hey, are you bad at interviewing or maybe just trying to get better at it? If so, I made this video for you. Hi, my name is Michael Wong, and I've been on both sides of the interview table more times than I can count. Look, I'm not here to act like I know everything, I really don't, and I'm not some sort of pickup artist for jobs. If we do our job right, by the end of this video, you'll know frameworks for what to say in an interview, how to act in an interview, and how to best prepare for an interview. All in the service of feeling comfortable in the interview, getting the job, and eventually, of course, flexing to your friends on Instagram. Hey, I really hope she watches your story, my G. I really do. Let's get started. Knowing what to say comes down to knowing what you bring to the table. And if you can do that, you're not going to have a problem finding answers throughout the conversation or steering the conversation into places that you feel most comfortable. Start by knowing the answers to these 3 questions. Most of your interview is going to be drawing from your past work experience. So, knowing all of the potentially relevant functions of all of the potentially relevant jobs you've ever had is only going to help you find footholds in the conversation. Start by knowing every single bullet point that you put on your resume under all of your different job titles, and also think about what you would have put if you had more space. You basically want to reassure the interviewer that everything you've done in the past has prepared you for this new role. Let's take that reassurance a step further. Think about the significance of those job functions. Basically, think about why your job functions are important and to who. And honestly, I don't care if your job was to go get coffee for other team members. You got to be able to flip that into, when I performed my duties, developers were able to ship clean code on time. Know yourself, pitch yourself. Now that you intimately know what you do and why you do it, let's think about how all of that experience relates to the new role. What carries over? What sets you up for success? Knowing these answers is going to help you put the interviewer in a world where you're already doing the job and you're doing it competently. Now just go earn your chance to prove it. I think the simplest way to say it is try not to act like you're in an interview. Instead, try these 3 things. First, treat the interview like you're having a catching up conversation. I think my best mental model for this is to try and act like you're having a conversation with like an old boss or an old coach or an old teacher that you used to really enjoy. It should feel like a conversation, that's what an interview is. It should feel like almost like you're catching up with an old teacher and telling her about all the accomplishments that you've had since she had you in class. Hey, Miss Wilson, look. No more hunchback. 2, stop playing the "you're so happy to be here" act. Like, I get the idea that there's merit in being grateful for the opportunity, but personally I feel like there's even more power in having the attitude like you're supposed to be interviewing there. You earn the opportunity yourself. Plus, don't forget that the interviewer wants this to work just as much as you do. They're literally at task to fill this position. Like they wish that was filled yesterday, no exaggeration. Do you really think this interviewer wants to block out more hours to interview more randos? Be the last rando. Hey, don't be afraid to pause. There will be questions that you didn't prepare for, and if that happens, just don't be afraid to ask for a second to think about it. But here's the important part. Actually freaking think about it, dude. Don't just sit there, with the freaking clown music playing in your head. Alright? And if you're still having trouble, you can always flip it back to them as like a clarifying question that you actually do know how to answer. Like, if I understand correctly, you're asking how I work with teams. If anything, this is a chance to prove that you can problem solve on the fly. Now that you know what to say and how to act, let's tie it all together with some pro tips for actual interview prep. In a Google Doc or in your Notes app, write out sample questions and then write your answers to those questions as bullet points, kind of like a cheat sheet that you can glance at before you go into the meeting. Specifically, plan and rehearse your answer to the immortal question, "Tell me about yourself." Something like 99% of interviews I've ever been a part of have started with that question. The answer to that question usually leads to the next question, usually leads to the next question, and so forth. Look at the calendar invite for your interview and see who you're interviewing and look them up on LinkedIn. You're doing this so you can see if you have any common interests, common experience, went to the same schools or something. It's like the professional version of stalking your ex on Facebook. And I know some of you been ready for the big leagues. Plan your route to the interview location, in real life or digitally. Obviously, you don't want to be late, so factor in weather and traffic. And if you're doing this on video conferencing, make sure you have all of the correct apps downloaded. I'm talking about freaking Teams, WebEx, Cisco. Make sure those apps have the right permissions. All right, you don't want to be fumbling with your video and mic during the interview. And if you have a custom background loaded, all right, and it can catch you up, make sure you remove that too. Finally, try not to think about any of the other people who might be interviewing for the same role either before you or after you. As far as you're concerned, they're scrubs anyways. If these tips helped or you found the video interesting, please give this video a thumbs up, send it to a broke homie of yours, or comment to let me know how I can help you further. And subscribe to my channel so you can see what I post next. I really appreciate it. Good luck out there.